There comes a time in the history of a people when silence is betrayal. And I dare say, for the African continent, that time is now. Africa stands not at a crossroads, but at the edge of a cliff. Her body is bruised, her resources plundered, and her voice muffled by generations of leaders who have sold her soul for silver and gold. We are a continent that bleeds brilliance but drowns in poverty. A continent that exports raw materials and imports finished lies. A continent where the youth are told to dream, but the doors to those dreams are locked by corrupt old men with rusted keys. They call us independent. But what kind of independence is it when our currencies depend on European banks? When our budgets are written in Washington and signed in Paris? When our leaders kneel before foreign interests while our children kneel before empty plates? Africa, the land of 1,000 tribes and 1,000,000 dreams, has become a playground for foreign powers. They come with aid in one hand and chains in the other. They come with contracts that sound like cooperation but taste like colonization. They teach us democracy by destabilizing our elections. They fund our peace by fueling our wars. And we call it diplomacy. I call it deception. And what of our leaders? Oh yes, we must speak of them. They wear African fabrics but think like foreign puppets. They smile in front of cameras while stabbing their nations in the back. They sit in conferences discussing the youth, yet when the youth speak, they are labeled rebels and locked away. Leadership in Africa has become a retirement plan for men who failed in their earlier professions. The presidency is now a pension package, not a platform for progress. The ministerial seat is a throne, not a service post. The State House is a castle built on broken promises and empty slogans, and yet the people clap. The people cheer. The people dance when their oppressors throw them crumbs. We have been conditioned to celebrate suffering. We have normalized injustice. We have spiritualized poverty and baptized corruption. My brothers and sisters, Africa does not need new gods. She does not need new prophets. She needs accountability. She needs courage. She needs men and women who fear nothing but failing the next generation. Let me be blunt, our education system was designed to create servants, not thinkers. We teach our children how to pass exams, not how to solve problems. We teach them the history of Europe but forget to teach them the glory of Mali, the strategy of Shaka Zulu, the wisdom of Naira, the resilience of Biko. We give them degrees without dignity, certificates without confidence. And when they graduate, they are told there are no jobs, so they flee. They cross deserts and drown in the Mediterranean chasing a better life in lands that once colonized their ancestors. We are losing the best of us to the worst of the world. Our doctors treat the sick in London. Our engineers build railways in Dubai. Our teachers inspire children in Toronto. Meanwhile, our hospitals rot, our roads crack, and our classrooms collapse. Africa is being emptied, not of minerals, but of minds. And yet, amid this tragedy, I still believe. I still believe in the African child who wakes at dawn to walk miles for water. I still believe in the African mother who feeds 6 mouths on one meal. I believe in the African student who studies by candlelight. They are the true leaders, the silent heroes. But belief alone is not enough. We must organize. We must educate. We must awaken. We must tell our children that leadership is not about wealth, it is about worth. That change does not come from elections alone, but from daily actions. That patriotism is not singing the anthem, but questioning the system. Africa will not die in silence. She will rise. But not with guns, with minds. Not with chaos, with conscience. Not with handouts, with hard work. We must dismantle the thrones of the corrupt and build platforms for the honest. We must reject leaders who remember us only during elections and forget us once in office. We must stop selling our votes for rice and start demanding results. If we do not rise now, we will drown. If we do not speak now, we will be silenced forever. We must ask ourselves, how long shall we blame colonialism while we ourselves colonize our own people? A man takes power in the name of liberation, and within a year becomes more feared than the colonizer he replaced. He shuts down opposition, jails journalists, silences students. And when the people complain, he points to foreign enemies. Yet the real enemy stares at him in the mirror. We have become masters of blaming everyone but ourselves. We blame Europe, we blame the West, we blame the IMF, we blame history. But what of the African who steals from the people? What of the African who sells state contracts to foreign companies for personal gain? What of the African who kills his own to stay in power? Until we confront ourselves, we cannot free ourselves. Freedom is not a flag. Freedom is not a national anthem. Freedom is not a seat at the United Nations. Freedom is dignity. Freedom is self-reliance. Freedom is when a nation feeds itself, heals itself, teaches itself, and defends itself without begging. Let me speak to the youth. You are not the leaders of tomorrow, you are the disruptive present. The future is not waiting, it is being shaped every day. And if you do not shape it, others will, and they will not have Africa's best interest at heart. Do not wait for your father to retire before you rise. Do not wait for permission to lead. You do not need a title to start a movement. You do not need office to create change. Use what you have, your voice, your skills, your platforms. Build. Organize. Mobilize. But let us be warned, courage will cost you. Speaking truth will make you enemies. Integrity will isolate you. The path of justice is not easy. But if you choose comfort over courage, silence over truth, then do not cry when your country crumbles. We must raise a new generation. Not of politicians, but of patriots. Not of followers, but of thinkers. Not of copycats, but of creators. Africa must teach its children the language of liberation. Not just slogans, but systems. Systems that empower agriculture, systems that drive local industry, systems that protect natural resources from being looted by foreign hands and local traitors. Our mineral wealth should build African cities, not Swiss accounts. Our oil should fuel African factories, not foreign militaries. Our gold should shine in our schools, not on the necks of presidents. We must rethink economics. GDP is not development. A growing economy that leaves the people hungry is a growing deception. We need economies that are inclusive, that empower small businesses, that support farmers, that create real jobs, not political appointments. And yes, we must also rethink leadership itself. In Africa, we worship titles. We call people His Excellency, while the roads to their offices are undrivable. We kneel before politicians and fear them like gods. Leadership must be demystified. The president is not a king. The minister is not a monarch. The MP is not your master. They are servants. And when servants fail, they must be replaced. Let us raise our voices, not only in protests, but in policies. Let us create alternative plans, run for office, start movements, mentor others, and fight corruption not only in government, but in our own hearts. For the culture of corruption is not born in the state house, it is born in the home. When a father steals from his job and the family celebrates. When a student cheats and the school calls it clever. When a pastor exploits pain for profit. That is where corruption is born. We cannot ask for clean governments with dirty societies. We must reform not only policies, but people. Africa will not rise through speeches alone. She will rise through systems, through sacrifice, through service. So let this be the generation that refused to be silent. Let this be the generation that told the truth, even when it hurt. Let this be the generation that did not wait for foreign aid, but created African solutions for African problems. Let this be the generation that awakened the giant that is Africa.